Hi there, welcome. My name is Rich Bontrager, also known as The Trigger. Happy to have you here with us today, as I'm going to share from my 25 years of being a leader, a professional sports broadcaster, being a pastor and a life coach of leadership. I've been doing this for 25 years, letting people improve their skills, and the big thing I've learned is leadership and communication go together. Whether you're a leader and you know it or not, you have to be a great communicator. The more effective we are as a communicator, the greater your message will ring out and have a lasting effect with people. And if you're a great communicator, whether you know it or not, you are a leader. You are making an impact with people. So today we're going to be talking about 5 tips on how to create an experience when we speak and not just give another lecture. See, the thing is, people want to have an experience. People pay good money to have an experience. People will go to the theater, go to a concert, and put down $50 to $100 to go hear a rock show, to hear their favorite artist sing. We go to the movies and we pay maybe $30 to see a movie, including the popcorn and all the goodies. We're going to have an experience. When we speak, when you step up on stage, people are coming not just to hear great information, they're coming to hear and have an experience. They want you to actually get to their heart and move from your head to your heart and touch them in a way that will transform them and give them a great experience, not just information. And that's a big radical shift in being a public speaker. There are those that give information, but people forget about it. There are those that give good information with a great experience, and it sticks with them forever. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 tips to help you improve in this important area of communication. Now, the first one is you want to learn how to command the stage. Commanding the stage is something that you do from the minute you walk on stage. I've been doing this for 25 years as a broadcaster. I've been on stage, I've been behind the microphone, behind the camera. And it's amazing how many people walk on stage and they do not own it. They do not have a presence. It's almost a shy and backwards way of coming on stage. And it sets up an awkward moment between you and the crowd where the crowd doesn't know if you're really there to give them something or if you're kind of afraid to give it to them. But when you step on stage, you need to learn how to command the stage and really be ever present on stage. When you are on that stage, it is your platform. And it doesn't just mean the stage of a professional stage. Your stage might be a teacher in a classroom. Your stage might be a football coach or a basketball coach. That is your stage. It might be that you're a doctor giving a seminar. That is your stage. The question is what stage do you have and how well do you command that stage as you step up and as you speak. So one of the first things I want to talk about is you need to have a good written down introduction. If you're like me, when you get up on a stage, you do not want to introduce yourself. The best way to do it is actually have something written down and show who you are, what your accomplishments are, what your background is, what the topic of the day is. Give some facts so the crowd totally understands you are the expert. And the trick here is by having another voice do it, having an MC or another speaker introduce you. By having that introduction done not by you, they are endorsing you and setting you up as the authority for the day. The crowd immediately will buy into you as you step up and grab the applause and step up to the platform. So have that introduction down. Make sure you use that. Ask for someone to read it. It is vitally important to set you up so you can better command the stage. Now, the second one I want to talk about is know your audience. A lot of speakers will give the same talk over and over again in many different contexts. I've done it, and many speakers do the same thing. They have their go-to stories. They have their go-to talks that they give. They're powerful. The thing is, to be a great speaker, you have to know the audience that you're giving that talk to. The trick is you need to do a little bit of research. Just because you're giving the same information does not mean it's going to be received the very same way to that audience. For example, over the years, I've spoken in a lot of different contexts. I recently moved from the upper Midwest several years ago to Georgia. Now, when I was in Georgia, I found out there were contexts and cultural differences that I was not fully aware of that were impacting the way I presented. I would talk about these cultural differences, but instead of being a laugh, of being a connector, they began to be a resistance because I did not know the audience took offense to those things. I did not know the Southern dialect, their slang versus my slang in the upper Midwest would be something that would turn them off. I did not understand my audience in the way that that would reflect. And instead of helping my message, it was actually deterring from my message. So I had to learn to actually step back and change how I was presenting that and turn it into a positive instead of a negative. The rest of the content was all the same, but I did not know the audience that I was speaking with that day. That's a huge difference. A very big difference is know your audience. You have to do some research. I mean, Google your audience. If you're doing this for a business firm, if you're doing this for a sporting team, if you're doing this for a non-profit, you need to actually spend time and learn their language. Figure out what their jargon is. What are the risks of their job that they take in every day? So you can actually add those little snippets into your talk that you give over and over again, and it will add value and incentive, and the application now is much more direct, much more precise for who you are talking to. This is a vital step, speakers. Many speakers do not spend the time researching who they are going with. As an expert on stage, you need to become an expert in who you are speaking with. So I urge you, take the time, learn who you are speaking with, and integrate that into your talk. Yes, it will mean adapting, but you must adapt to be a great communicator. Now, the next one I want to talk about is, again, engaging your audience. Audience do not come to just be lectured to and be given good notes or fill in the blanks. Audiences come to be actually wowed. Think for a minute of going to see a musician. They know how to grab an audience and engage. Often they'll bring somebody up from the crowd. They'll even step down into the audience. They will do things that has the entire crowd captivated by what they do. They are speaking and sharing, entertaining, but the crowd is completely captivated and engaged with everything they do. The same is true with us as public speakers. Our goal is to engage the crowd, to move them out of their seats emotionally and join you on stage. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. Again, physically leave the stage. I love going down into the crowd and making physical contact. Draw somebody up on stage and do a living illustration with them. Talk about a problem. Use a prop in their hand. Put something that the crowd can feel you are actually with them and they are with you. This is called breaking the glass. The great speakers know how to break that invisible barrier that is there. Everyone in the audience knows you are the expert on stage. You are the one that's going to teach them. So they are leaned back in their chairs, wanting you to deliver. The trick is, speakers, you need to break that glass and pull them your direction so they're now into the middle of it. Another way to do this is to tell great stories. Stories are an amazing, powerful way to bring a crowd alive. A captivating story, an illustration, something that you've struggled with, something that you had a celebration with. It will pull them in and engage them because now you have their heart pumping with you. If you have their heart pumping, their mind is left behind and you have won their heart, and their message will stick with them much, much more. There are lots of different ways that you engage the audience. Engage them with visuals. A great way to do this is actually have a prop. Have a big screen. But please do not do what I call the IBM way of doing things. IBM for years was doing teaching with screens, and it was one slide after another slide after another slide, and that slide was always designed to just fill in the blank. And the presenter would turn to the screen and he would start telling you what you've seen on the screen and say it word for word. Here's the trick. Use the screen as a reinforcer and talk through it. Give them new information. The screen will engage your imagination. You will take them on a journey, and your message, your words will fill in the gap and teach them something they've never, ever heard before. Learn to engage the audience. Now, another important aspect of speaking on stage is enjoy yourself on stage. I can't tell you how many speakers are trying to be so professional, so slick, they come off as boring, lifeless. Almost a robot is on stage sharing the message. Again, the content may be wonderful. In my case, I have a stutter. I grew up with a horrible stutter. It doesn't affect me much anymore, but once in a while in a message, in a talk, that stutter will kick in. What I've learned is everyone in the room can react one of two ways. They can freeze, and they feel the pressure, because I show the pressure of a stutter, of interrupting my train of thought, of breaking the flow of the content. And in that moment, everyone in the room tenses up. You lose the crowd at that moment. When you have those moments where it's too tense, they can't breathe, you can't breathe, you lose the crowd. Instead, what I found to do is, I have a good laugh. I will definitely point out I blew it, my tongue got tied up, my mind is racing faster than my mouth, and I can laugh it off and give a good chuckle. If you have the gift of humor, and you know how to use humor on stage, have fun. When you tell a joke, go all the way with the joke. Don't do joke halfway. Do it in a way that you can actually tell the joke, get the laugh, and own the laugh with people. Laugh with them. Find ways to enjoy yourself. Again, I use props very often. I love using props. The thing about props is they don't always work on stage the way you plan them to. It's live theater for people when you teach with props. If the prop doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, admit it, talk it through, have a laugh, and move on. But you need to really, really enjoy yourself. Ask yourself, speakers, do you enjoy being a speaker? Do you want the limelight? Do you want the money? Or you really have fun on stage? I believe fun is contagious and really helps you as a speaker to grab the audience and keep them all the way through. The fifth and final point I want to bring up is speakers surprise your audience. One of the best things you can do as a speaker is you can surprise them with something they did not expect at all. And don't put it out there too early. Leave it toward the end and just totally blow them away. It's fun to watch your crowd get excited and realize you surprised them. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this, because wowing your audience captures your audience. Oprah Winfrey is the queen of capturing the audience. Oprah has done this for years. She'll have a guest speaker on her show, a new author, an actor, someone from Broadway. Now, it's gotten kind of old hat with her now, but back in the early days, you never knew when something big was going to happen on Oprah's show. She would have someone from Broadway there, and toward the end, they would just throw out that tonight everyone in her live studio got a ticket to go see that Broadway show that very night or the next day. The crowd would go wild. They not only had a great time with Oprah, they heard something wonderful from their guest, they learned something new and important, they walked away with a free book. They got a new ticket to a theater. They got a great food sample for a month, whatever it was. Oprah's done a lot of different things, including giving away a brand new car. Now, you can do the very same thing from the stage, especially if you're in a corporate setting. The corporate entity that you're working with may want to give something away, or if they haven't even thought of it, maybe you should ask them, how would you like me to give a brand new computer away, or give away a year of software, or a new car? Whatever it is, see if there's an incentive that you can put into your presentation, and toward the end, surprise. Today, you get this. Now, on a lesser scale, if you're a public speaker, you can do that with your books. Many public speakers have written books. If you're not quite done with your book, you may be able to do a PDF or a media guide or some incentive that you have. Maybe you have a video that you've shot sometime and you want to give that away. At the end of your presentation, the idea is that you want to say, get this today. come back to my table, register online, here's an access code. Whatever it is that you use, give them a wow. I was recently at a conference and an author was going to be speaking. At the end of the presentation, he did this very thing. He had free hard copies for the first 50 people. So imagine the line after he's done talking about writing a book, the process of being an author, the proofreading. He shared everything eloquently about how to do this. And then his brand new book was coming out that very week. He had advanced copies for 50 people. But there was more than 50 people in the room. So for those that did not participate and get one of the books right there on the spot, he gave them an access code. You can get a download of the first 3 chapters for free in a PDF type of new book form. That is an added surprise bonus. Everybody in the room got something. No one went away empty-handed. By wowing the audience, you are pulling them in. They want to learn more about you. They want to figure out what is the next step. They can go with you, and you have given them something tangible and something that made you rise above the crowd. Oh, and if you're looking for secondary feedback, you're looking for the ripple effect that you gave a great talk, doing a surprise at your end, people will take this back to their office, take it back to their home, their college, universities, and they will talk about not only your talk, they'll talk about what you gave away and that you're worth going to see because you never know what's going to happen. You turn the crowd into promoting you because of how you surprise them. So today, I want to offer you a 15-minute free consultation on public speaking. There is so much more that I can share from my 25 years of speaking, both as a broadcaster, being on live stage, being in leadership coaching. There are so many things that interconnect together, and it really doesn't matter if you're in the private sector, in a nonprofit industry, if you're in the sports world. There's a lot of ways that I can listen to your story, figure out what your needs are, and give you a free 15 minutes of insights from my experience. Now, perhaps you need more. Through that 15 minutes, we can decide if it's worth it, if you want to go forward. But today, if you go to trigger@richbontrager.com, send me an email, tell me you've watched this video, and then you'll get the free 15 minutes. We'll hook up, we'll have a phone call conversation, or we can do a video direct conversation right online. So take up this offer today. This is for you to help you improve what you do best. If you want to know more about how I can come and share more of my speaking experience, maybe share some of my coaching on leadership or on defying the odds and overcoming great obstacles in life, please reach out to me and let's talk about how we can work out a booking opportunity and I can come and speak with you and your crowd to help raise the bar in whatever arena you are working in. Again, speakers, we all want to improve. We want to do a much greater job of impacting the world. We have great messages. We have wonderful content. Let me encourage you today to step up, to improve your game, and make the impact that you would like to have in the world. You can be a great speaker. These simple steps today hopefully have helped you out to take one more step further, and if I can help you out, please let me know. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for watching today. Until next time, I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager.